Um, but so how has the violin playing go? How's it
I mean,
going?
I don't get many chances to actually practice it, and plus, I'm not exactly sure what exactly to practice because even during like class, I'm not sure like what I
Yeah,
should
I
be
get it.
practicing. So,
Yeah, so we're still like getting like acquainted with the violin and whatnot, and I get that, But I have some stuff that you can work with today that can help you,
hmm.
in the future. So why don't we start with some review? Why don't we start with last 2 weeks ago actually, we talked about a couple things. Um, One was the elevators. That was when we were playing on each string. We were just using one finger pattern, uh, and we tried to use the whole bow. And you did pretty well. But first, why don't we try without the whole bow, just to get ourselves a little, warmed up. So what you're gonna do is you're just gonna play one. Why don't we do 1 to 2 this time instead of open to one? So it's gonna look like this, starting on the G string. And it's gonna be a whole step. We can try half step after that too. That would be fun. So why don't you just try that? Just separate bows for now. Let's just get ourselves warmed up. Good, your bow looks great.
Let me try that again.
Sure, sure. That was really good though. Good. Good. Awesome. So intonation was much better. And one thing that could help you, um, we're all, especially from bass, we're all in different angles, right? So one thing that could really help you, I'm just gonna show you, um, instead of keeping this arm very stationary, you could move it around too. And if you notice, when I move it, my uh, like the contact point of my hand changes. So if I'm trying to play the G string with my elbow back, it's like impossible, right? So changing this elbow, swinging it around. Do you remember taking viola playing? Did you do that yet or no?
Oh yeah, I did it
You
last.
did, yeah. So Dr. Tramposh had something like, what did she call it? Like, I don't know. It was one of those things from the Roland book where she was just like, yeah, just move your arm around, and it kind of helps you get more flexible. That's important because I don't want you to. I just noticed on the E string you're playing a little like this. It could possibly hurt. Are you feeling any like tension when you do that?
Honestly, I don't remember.
Yeah, I get it. Well, just to keep that in mind, sometimes to just think about that is always a nice idea. But good. So that was good. So now let's try it with a um a half step. So we're just gonna do the same exact thing, and you can do, we'll keep doing separate bows for now, and then we'll introduce that in a moment. But same thing. And a little trick here to help you with intonation, because this is a good trick, is that when you, oh, the angle's gonna be weird to see this, but when you play on the violin with a half step and then you play a one on the next, it's kind of hard to see. A one on the next string actually touches. So every time it's going to be touching, kind of like a little spider going up. Do you see that? It's like a little crawling down. So the good thing is that you'll feel it. You know, while you can rely on your ears, you can also rely on your, feeling it. So why don't you try that for me? Good, perfect. You want to go down now? So go. Da, da. Good, close. Yeah. So overall, really great. Did you feel that your first finger was moving over?
Yeah.
Good. Okay, good. Yeah, that's wonderful. Good. So now let's try it with a whole bow now. We're gonna do go back to the pulse step. Half is kind of tricky. So now we're gonna do a whole bow. So it's gonna look like this. Well, you might want to go a little faster if you run out, like I did. Why don't you try that for me?
I hit my earbud.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah. I might just restart because I'm hitting this. I might just take it out. It's easy.
Great. That was
To get it back.
that's fine. Okay. So, and why don't you do the whole step now?
Whole step?
Yeah, try the whole step.
Okay.
Got that other voice going on. Great. Awesome. Wow, you're doing well. So that's good. So again, go back to this. Always, not get combinations yourself. You want to, like really do as many combinations as possible. And anything. Have you started? I know we did this last semester. Playing instruments. Oh, I think you're muted.
Just say that again. I had to mute it to hear you better.
Oh, did you have violin playing? You have violin playing on Tuesdays, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so you didn't have it on Tuesday. So we're thinking back like 2 weeks ago. I know it's been a little while, but have you started working in other positions, or are you just in first right now?
I mean, from what I remember, I'm still in first. I don't remember. I mean, we might have. I just don't
Yeah.
go.
No, that's cool. Yeah. So, um, so right now it's like you're at level one with elevators, but when you learn new positions, which is probably coming soon, and we'll of course go over that we have two more lessons this semester. There's a total of four. So, it probably will happen next lesson, I'm assuming, because that would be 2 weeks from now. And when we do that, we can move the elevators too, kind of make it like a level two elevators and do it in third position. And you can go all the way up to seventh position if you want, and it really does help. The point of this is we're trying to help our tone. We're trying to make sure we stay in position. I know you know that from bass. I know when I started bass, I thought I was in the right position, and I was playing like I was playing like quarter tones, and I was like, whoa, that's not right. Yeah, so we're trying to make sure we're in our correct positions, and having like an origin point is a good way to put it. Good. So, let's now review really quick. Last 2 weeks ago, I keep saying last week, we just went over our quick scales. So we did a D major scale, which is the middle two strings, and we just played four notes of the scale per bow. So we played a down bow and an up bow. Down, up. So why don't we try that right now? And just to review, the finger pattern on this is three touching two. So it looks like that. So it's open one, two, three touching, open one, two, three touching. And then the same thing going down.
Yeah, we do.
Great job, wonderful. Something that'll help this exercise is actually to not start at the frog. Something that'll help is to use a tiny bit of bow and to be in the middle. So watch how much I use. If I and I start like well at the balance point actually, not like lower middle. So I'm only gonna use a tiny bit of bow. You see how because I think when we use more bow in a fast passage, it slows us down, right? So let's try that one more time and just think about tiny bow. And you can even look at yourself like in the picture and say, okay, or in the mirror. I mean, I'm sure there's a mirror in there somewhere.
Nope.
Is that a mirror in there? Aren't you in a crane practice room?
Yep.
That's weird.
Mhm.
I'm sorry about that. That's hard. That's like such a good practice tool. Ugh,
I know.
clean. Wow. I never knew that none of, I thought all of them had it.
I thought so too.
Jeez. Well, so then why don't we utilize the Zoom picture to see, just to check yourself before you start. Just look to see where your bow is, because a lot of the time we just can't see the angle. And again, with short bow, well, small bow, I should say. That was good. Great. Awesome. So, one new one, we're gonna take the same exact pattern. And by the way, that was great. So keep using that technique, that idea of short bow and in the balance point, and you'll be able to achieve this a lot easier. So we're gonna take the same exact pattern. We're gonna take what we just played, but we're just gonna move it to a different string. So we're gonna move to the G string and the D string. Again, it's still gonna be open 1, 2, touching 3, open 1, 2, touching 3. So let's show you what it looks like. And again, middle balance point of the bow and short bow. So why don't you give that a try? And when we use the G string, our arm comes up more. So we're not going to play like this. We're going to keep our arm up a little higher to reach over because it's the lowest, farthest one away. Great. Perfect. Your arm looked great and the tone was great. So good for you. So yeah, those are two more things that you can continue to practice throughout your time just to get used to the violin because they're not extremely difficult, you know, so it can help you just get more comfortable, right? Because that's important. Good. So now we're going to take a look at what's called escalators. I don't think you learned this yet, but this is a little something that's similar to the elevators. So we're just gonna play. You can either think of it as like 1, 2, half step. Well, no, you should probably just think of it in solfege. Like we're gonna be playing do, re, mi, fa. So we're gonna be playing any note that we start on. You're gonna be having a half step after this third note. So let me just show you. I'll start on the D string because that's a comfortable one. And the reason we call this an escalator is because the finger, we're not changing our position. The finger that's doing the half step is actually moving. We're not like putting more fingers down. So if you notice, I went open 1, 2, slide up 2 for the half step, and then 3. So I'll play it one more time, try to see if you can see better. Notice how I stayed in the same position. I just moved 2. So why don't you try that for me on the D string? So it's And now, can you do that on the A string? The same exact pattern. Same exact pattern. that's definitely coming along. And I think you probably know this from bass, but you know we when we work with ringtones, have you ever heard that before? Or what's another word for it? Sympathetic vibration is another word.
If I hear it, I know. I just haven't heard the term.
Yeah, that's okay. So it's when we play a note that is the same note as an open string. So like when we play a D, and then you hear it vibrating after, it's sympathetic vibration. So that's also one thing that I practice, you know, even still, just finding the ringtone. So what you just played, when you played a D, that's a ringtone. So you can, and then when you take your bow off the string, see if it's ringing, and then you'll know you're in tune with your instrument. That's a great tool for intonation because while we can rely on our ears, sometimes our ears are relative to certain things, right? So it's not always reliable. So yeah, so listening to your instrument is a great idea. Good. So now let's take a look at one more escalator pattern. So that was the open one. That's when we start. Um, sorry, I'm just gonna turn off my notifications so nothing emails don't pop up and text messages and a million things. So that was the one with that was the open string pattern. Now we're gonna start on a one finger now. Same, we're gonna do D and A, but this one, 3 is gonna move, and we're gonna utilize 4. So take a look. So again, 3 is gonna be the one that's escalating. So why don't you give that a try for me? Great. Enough. We're gonna be playing a whole step in between 1 and 2. So I should have told you that before. So 2 is gonna touch 3 at first, and then 3 is gonna move. So I'll show you one more time. That was my fault. Whole step, so far away from 2, and then 2 is gonna touch 3, and then move 3, and then 3 touches 4. So again, 1, whole step, half step, half step, half step. Does that make sense? Sorry, I should have explained that.
No, it's fine.
Great. And now we can do that same exact thing on the A string. Same exact pattern.
Right.
Good. Great ringtone. So, you know, I heard an E ringtone, I heard a D ringtone, so that was great. Good. And I also just realized bass have the same string as violins, don't they? Yeah. It's just backwards. The E is the lowest note on the violin, the E is the highest note. So, yeah, so you're getting better with that. Good job. Awesome. So, is there any piece that you're working on right now or that is coming up, like say a playing test or anything? Because I don't actually see your Moodle site. I just see what pieces are on there. You know what I mean? I don't actually know like if there's anything due or whatnot, but I do see all the repertoire that's on there, so we can work on any one of those. I have one in mind if there isn't a one that you're currently thinking about.
She didn't specify any certain or particular one here.
Sure. Okay, cool. So then I will go ahead and pick one out. I had one in mind. Let me just find it really quick. Yes. Do you have it, or would you rather me share my screen? Because
Which one is it? I can
oh,
get it.
even say what it was called. I'm sorry. It's the Allegro by Suzuki. It was. It should be in the beginning of the list.
Yeah, I have it up.
Oh, great. Okay, so we're gonna take this really piece by piece, and we're probably not gonna get through it all in the next 10 minutes. So let's just take a look at the first four bars. Um, let's notice our finger pattern. So we're always gonna have in this whole piece. And do we even play on the D? It's mostly on the E string, so it's not a big deal. So our finger pattern, two is gonna touch three all the time. So what we were just doing actually, but it's gonna be on the E string now. So how we're gonna do this, and you'll see they give you a couple hints, like oh the first one's a three and then an open, right? So they give you a couple of hints, which is nice. Um, but let's just first go over. If you could just tell me the first four bars, the fingering. I don't want to give it away yet. I figure you can do that for me.
Okay. 330012310033221012.
Awesome. Good. And did you say you were fluent in treble? I don't remember if you said.
I can read it.
Good.
Okay, yeah.
Wonderful. Okay. So, um I'm going to play the first four bars just so you can hear what it sounds like. And I'm going to go slowly just so you can so we can have a little um, you know. So I'm probably going to go one, two, three, four. So, would you feel comfortable trying that, or do you want?
I can try it.
Great. Good. So, and you did exactly what I was going to ask for next, which was, eighth notes are going to be nice and smooth, while the quarter notes are going to be short. So good for you. Um, the next line is exactly the same, so why don't we just go through that? You could go ahead and play that.
Okay.
Oh, great. Good. So now I'm going to go ahead and play the next line. Actually, let's do exactly what we did. Why don't you read me the finger names, and then I'll go over the next line.
Okay. So it's hard to read. 1100110012310, and then that's 3 2. Looks like.
The very open to one. So on C sharp we play a high two, and on B we play a one. Because if you look like at the first,
Oh yeah, yeah. I just realized. I don't know why I said that.
that's okay. Yeah, because we have that open A. So B would be one, and C would sharp would be two. Good. So this is what it sounds like, and we don't have any more staccato notes, so we can play nice and legato. So why don't you go ahead and try that?
I think he's crossing it.
Yeah. Um, so it's a little lower than you think, and closer. That's the other thing. The going a whole step is a lot closer on a violin than it is on a bass. So that was great though. Good. And then why don't you play the last line for me? Because I think you know that one by now.
I just want to finish it.
No, that's okay. Good. So that was very good. I'm glad with that. So, why don't you just play the whole thing for me and then we'll be done for today. And if you can try to utilize whatever articulations that you can find, that would be awesome. You're already doing so well with the short bows and the long bows. And you can go at any tempo you like, whatever you feel.
Yep. I guess just restart it. It's very hard to read this tiny screen.
So it's the same on mine. I'm cuz I don't print everything out cuz I don't need them like that much. So good. Yeah, that was really wonderful. Your intonation was really great. You're able to hear that and pick it, and that's a good tool to have. There was one oh, the only thing I was gonna say, yeah, so throughout any playing, just get that arm moving. It's really oh, remember that first thing we did when we were like reaching up and moving in? So you're seeing that like this whole arm as it's coming down, it's also moving. It's also rotating the opposite way. So that's a really important motion to have, and it'll make you feel a lot better. And just one last thing that I saw you were having a little trouble with the um, string crossings. So one thing you can do is just either play them, play string crossings separately and then add some slurs. You can do something like this. And then you can add slurs. And then you can do that for any string you want. Or all four. And then you can add slurs again. So, I think that's probably like one of the best exercises for feeling or like understanding like what angle you're supposed to be at. Because I know that can be really tricky, especially because the strings are so much closer together. So, good. Okay, is there any other questions for today?
No, I don't have any.
Awesome. So, again, if you have any questions throughout your weeks, you can always reach out to me and I'll respond, as fast as I can. And then I'll talk to you, in the next 2 weeks about scheduling the next one, okay?
Yeah, that works.
All right. Well, thank you for doing this. I appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Have a great day.
You too. Thanks.